I rise in strong opposition to this resolution. I encourage all of my colleagues to oppose it as well. It is no coincidence that this resolution is being brought now, and it is a rebuke, attempted rebuke of the Trump administration. And I actually think that this chamber should be coming together and praising the decision to move the U.S. Embassy in Israel to Jerusalem, that this chamber should be coming together and praising the decision to recognize Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights, that we all should be coming together on a bipartisan basis with regards to the implementation of the Taylor Force Act. The Palestinian Authority has a policy not just to incite violence, but to financially reward terrorism. If you murder an innocent American or Israeli by policy, this is no secret, it's documented, it's their own admission, they will pay you money. Now, as far as this chamber goes, we're stewards of U.S. tax dollars. To send money to the Palestinian Authority, as long as they have a policy where they're going to pay someone for murdering an American, that's something that this chamber should be coming together on a bipartisan basis with regards to the implementation of the Taylor Force Act and how to do even better. This resolution attempts to get into that world of what preconditions need to be met in order to have an agreement between Israelis and Palestinians. And it chooses to stay silent with regards to any of the Israeli preconditions on the Palestinians, but this resolution chooses not to be silent on the preconditions of the Palestinians towards the Israelis. Not just in the text of the resolution, but today in the debate, the goal is to place pressure on the Israelis on what they need to make concessions on, but not saying anything at all with regards to Palestinians committing acts of terror and being financially rewarded for it. Nothing about Hamas. Hamas literally put it in their charter that jihad is an obligation. If we want to know where Hamas stands. Now, if the Palestinian Authority sat down with Israelis and right now agreed, I don't know if whoever would sign that document on behalf of the Palestinian Authority would be assassinated within days. But I'll tell you what, he can't in good faith deliver all of his people, because not only are the ranks of the Palestinian Authority filled with the likes of terrorist groups like Hamas, and Hamas is a designated foreign terrorist organization of the United States. Not only can they not deliver their people, Hamas doesn't just refute the argument that Israel has a right to exist as a Jewish state. Hamas refutes the argument that Israel has a right to exist. How are we silent about a resolution? If you want to get into preconditions, how do we not get into any acts of Hamas denying access to humanitarian aid to its own people? Or the fact that they use women and children as human shields? That Hamas will pay someone to get shot. A kid goes to a checkpoint, gets shot, got paid $500. Get paid for that? Right now, as we're here, I mean, literally, as the decision's being made to bring this resolution to the floor, Israel is getting showered by rockets from a terrorist group in Gaza, hundreds of rockets targeting innocent Israelis. So kids who are going to school or worshiping or at home are running to bomb shelters because they have rockets being launched at them trying to kill them. That's the issue with getting into that world of preconditions and only talking about the preconditions that the Palestinians want to place on the Israelis, and then to double down and triple down during floor debate, and to be silent entirely with regards to any of their preconditions towards peace. December 2016 is specifically referenced in this resolution. This House came together and condemned that December 2016 policy. After the November 2016 election, this House came together in January on a huge bipartisan basis and condemned that change of policy in December 2016. The reversal here in this resolution is now this resolution is specifically referencing the December 2016 policy as if it's something to be celebrated. What we should be doing right now is passing legislation with teeth. By the way, a whole lot of legislation with teeth. Passing USMCA, lowering the cost of prescription drugs. There was a bipartisan agreement that passed out of the House Energy and Commerce Committee. Passing S1 HR 336, legislation with teeth to stop BDS, to help support Israel with teeth, authorizing funding, to support Jordan, legislation with teeth, to increase sanctions on Assad in Syria. This bill has already passed the Senate with all of these different Republicans and Democrats, almost 80 senators passing it. And you set your bill numbers based off what's important. What's important to the Senate? That was S1. We made a strong statement last summer, almost unanimously passing a resolution condemning BDS, including language towards peace between the Israelis and the Palestinians. We should have woken up the next day united to now do something about it. It's one thing to make a statement about anything that anyone in this chamber is passionate about. And I respect the different passions and backgrounds of all of my colleagues, and there are people who have different opinions on just about anything that comes for a vote in this chamber. When we choose to make statements of something that we feel strongly about it, it's important to wake up the next day and say, okay, well, what are we going to do about it? And that's why, while I'm so proud of all of my colleagues for voting almost unanimously for that resolution, we should be passing S1 HR 336. I ask for all to oppose this resolution and yield back.